share my screen and then we can start our session of today. So once more, colleagues, thank you so much for joining us today for the Blockchain Academy second iteration info session. I am Burcu Maviş. I am Blockchain Academy, an accelerator lead from the UNDP Alternative Finance Lab team that has provided you the education in partnership with the Algorand Foundation. So today I also have with me Matt Keller, who is the head of impact from the Algorand Foundation. So first I will give the word to Matt to introduce himself, and then after we will start with the presentation. Over to you, Matt.
Thanks, Burcu. Hello, everybody. It's good to see people from around the world. I see you're chiming in on the chat, which is really cool. Tunisia, Tanzania, Nigeria, Turkey. So my name's Matt Keller. I'm the Senior Director of Impact at the Algorand Foundation. And just a little bit about my background before Burcu and I get into the slides. I'm former United Nations World Food Program. I was in Rome as legal counsel for a number of years. And I kind of fell in love with technology and development. So I went to the MIT Media Lab and worked on a project called One Laptop Per Child, which was dedicated to kind of connecting kids in remote parts of the world with pretty sophisticated technology that was really super inexpensive. And that led to something called the Global Learning X Prize, which I led in Tanzania for 6 years. Again, technology and learning was kind of was our remit. And then that led me to blockchain and Web3. And I think I hope you'll find it as fascinating as I do, because this is a very basic introductory course to the efficiencies that blockchain brings, as well as the transparency and the traceability, the immutability of data, and other things that you're going to learn about over the course of the next couple of months. So I find it fascinating. It was a great leap for me from Web 2 to Web 3, which is what this is. And I hope that your takeaways are such that you feel comfortable enough to pursue the tech that meets your needs. So it's good to see everybody and looking forward to this. And thanks a lot again, Burcu, for leading this effort.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matt. So let's go through our agenda of today. So first, we are going to introduce you what is the Blockchain Academy and like why we brought you the Blockchain Academy. And then after it, we are going to discuss about the Academy overview and give you the timeline of the implementation of the Academy. And then we will follow it with the eligibility criteria, as well as how to apply for the Academy. And then to conclude the session, we will have a Q&A session where then we will hear your questions from your side. So please already write your questions to the chat. We will make sure to answer them as much as we can. Most probably during the presentation, you will get your answers, but please, if we didn't answer for somehow, write it on the Q&A box as well as the chat. So let's start with what is Blockchain Academy. So the Blockchain Academy is the first ever blockchain academy that is specifically tailored for the UN ecosystem, as mentioned in partnership with Algorand Foundation. So we did have our first iteration, our first cohort, that completed in spring this year with more than 500 participants from 138 countries. Of course, we did expect a lot of attention to this academy, but really seeing the interest of our colleagues was something that was very, very positive response from your side. And then following that, we wanted to now bring the second cohort of the academy. And we brought this academy to you because we know that most of the colleagues, as well as the people all around the world, they mostly think that blockchain is only crypto and nothing more than that. We wanted to change the mindset of it and then provide you with the technical expertise. But when we say technical expertise, we don't mean that we will teach you how to build on blockchain as software developers. It is going to be more like for you to understand how you can utilize blockchain across different parts of the work that you are carrying out. And in this academy, we also are going to provide real world applications that are relevant for the UN. So what is important here is that we wanted to strengthen the learning materials with real world use cases so that you can picture how the solution would look like if you would like to implement such a project. And of course, all the solutions are going to be aligned with the SDGs. Sorry, colleagues, I'm really sick, so sometimes I might cough. So what are the key challenges that we saw when we built the Academy was that there is a lack of blockchain knowledge and experience with the Web3 technologies. And like even though there is some pilots, like across different UN like UN like agencies on blockchain like adoption, we could see that it was not really as broad as it could be. So we wanted to give you the knowledge so that you can also have pilots and maybe later on scale up projects on blockchain. And there is also a lack of training programs tailored for the UN context. Of course, you can Google, and I'm sure you can find so many blockchain academies, but this one specifically is tailored for the UN, meaning that all the modules we have that also Matt is gonna mention to you more in detail are really tailored for the work that we are carrying out. And we are also aware that mostly when you want to do something like innovative in our organization, it is a little bit difficult to find funding maybe for these pilots. So we also bring the partners to you to make sure that they're also supporting you in your pilots. And now I give word to Matt to tell us about the academy format and then to talk also about the models. So over to you, Matt.
Sure. It's a good mix, I think, of live sessions as well as recorded lectures. And so, what we did last year was put together some experts to record the lectures, so you can go back and listen again and again and again. So, as you know, video is an infinitely patient teacher because you can just keep going back if you don't understand something. So, that will be available to you forever. And then we have a number of live interactions that we want to bring to you from folks building in our ecosystem that I think are very relevant to the work that you do. And these will be, these are real world applications that I think, of the 7 or 8 or 9, I can't remember what the number is, of the live lectures that we have, you'll find something that is relevant to your work. There's no question about it. And then there's four mandatory modules, and those are followed by 8 optional deep dive modules on specialized topics. And so what the modules are, the mandatory modules are first kind of the introductory to blockchain and what it really is and what the power behind this decentralized technology can do. How does it work in module 2? And then we go into use cases, which I think um, will be really where you're going to learn a lot because these are done by folks who are actually building businesses or building payments platforms, for example, that you can take advantage of in your work. There's going to be decentralized identity, which is a big, I think, concern for folks in the humanitarian world. As you know, 1.7 billion people or something like that in the world have no identity, so that precludes them from basic civic life like education, healthcare, etc. And so, what can decentralized identity on chain, how can that provide a solution to the lack of identity that many people have? We're going to go into payments, which is a big area of our focus. We support a company in Afghanistan called HisabPay, for example, where right now UNHCR, for example, is paying about 110,000 refugee families through the HisabPay platform, and that is built on the Algorand blockchain. The World Food Program is paying, I think, 25,000 women along with the World Bank through the HisabPay platform. And what does that mean for your work as, cash assistance, increases, I think, in its trajectory in terms of a tool for aid? How does aid that is traceable, trackable, and transparent, how does that aid your work, particularly when somebody can get something of value directly to a wallet in a low-end smartphone or even just a QR code? So that to me is one of the more interesting modules. Decentralized finance, which is a little bit complicated, but we talk a lot about kind of transforming finance and financial inclusion through Web3, and this module will give you an indication as to how that can happen, how people can actually generate wealth with very little to use to begin with. And so that's decentralized finance. Supply chain is another one where I think it's, as a former WFP person, and WFP is the kind of the logistics arm of the UN. Supply chain is a really interesting use case because what blockchain does is allows that traceability from point A to point Z, up and down the chain, to be seen through every transaction. So it is kind of a game changer in the world of supply chain. And my contention is that most supply chains in the world will be blockchain based within the next 5 years. Carbon credits, the carbon credit market has been um, pretty discredited over the past decade or so, partly because folks are unable to prove the authenticity of the carbon credits. And so again, what blockchain does is solve that problem by making them traceable and trackable and transparent. And so then ultimately, folks at the beginning of the chain are accountable. Tokenization is another one, which I find really interesting. It's the tokenization of assets. So any asset can be tokenized, even partial tokens can be bought and traded, et cetera. And that allows folks to actually generate some income. NFTs for impact. Um, this is a way again to generate some kind of income, not the crazy NFT stuff that you've heard, but even we gave out certificates at the end of the last Blockchain Academy, and these were NFTs on chain that could be verified and credentialed so that you can go forward and show that this is actually a credential that I received from UNDP, and it's just an NFT, it's just a representation of something that is immutable and it can't be changed. So that's valid in the eyes of the person who sees it. And then a module on blockchain for donors. We developed something called the Aid Trust Portal. Sorry, I'm also not feeling well, but sorry about that. I apologize. The Aid Trust Portal is a web-based device that allows donors and implementing agencies to see where every single dollar goes from the point of sending out that money to the implementing agency to every single beneficiary who receives anything of value that can be traced. And that's something we're really proud of because we're trying to change the narrative around, oh, all aid is corrupt, and the U.S. is kind of completely decimated USAID, which accounts for a big percentage of the world's aid, under the pretext that, oh, aid is corrupt, it's stolen, it's lost. And some of that is true, but not to the extent of what they're saying. And so we want to change the narrative around that. We want to show that the aid that is given is the aid that is gotten by the people who are the rightful recipients of that aid. So I think that's a really important one because that's going to restore trust in aid. It's going to flip the narrative, change the narrative, and flip the script. So those are the modules. I find them interesting. I hope you will too. And we're always around for questions and advice. So looking forward to seeing you guys there. Thanks, Burcu.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matt, for this comprehensive overview. So following the academy, we are also going to have the post-academy opportunities for you. So we are going to equip you with the knowledge to learn how you can utilize blockchain, as mentioned, to develop projects that you would like to pilot as part of your work. So following our academy, we are having our SDG Blockchain Accelerator, where we, gather and make sure that our country offices are matched with our solution makers and companies, and then, they can launch then the projects together, and then you then have an access to hands-on mentorship as well as the access to partners and resources too. And you will also join the broader UN blockchain community of practice, which our team is currently leading. And then you will have access to the ongoing learning opportunities in addition to the academy, as well as peer exchange and the collaboration across the UN ecosystem. So what is our offer to make it, summarize for you is that you're going to have flexible learning options that are both self-paced, and that is going to be hosted on Quantum Learning. So all the learning materials that are recorded lectures are self-paced, so you can watch it whenever you have time to watch and go through the academy. And then supporting the recorded lectures, we are also going to have live sessions. And on those live sessions, we are going to bring the experts that are part of the recorded lectures to come and talk to you about the content that they provide you, to the information, at the same time also to be able to answer your question. Let's say that we have a recorded lecture, a module on supply chain. We are going to have then specific live session on supply chain, where then you can come and maybe ask specific pilot that you have on mind, how you can address this challenge you have, like what are the different mechanisms to address the challenge you want to address with supply chain and blockchain. We would like to make that the live sessions are really interactive, and then you really get the best out of it. And then you will have access to the expert guidance from the blockchain partners as well as our team. you will be encouraged to work on your hands-on projects to kind of be on the like ideation phase and think what could be the pilots that you could implement as part of an implementation of your already existing projects you are leading or being part of. And we are going to have sessions and workshops as mentioned, and we will also have the community engagement. So after you join our academy, I will also add you to our Viva Engage specific like community platform that we are having, where we gather like all colleagues to come in and discuss some areas that maybe you might be collaborating. As mentioned, we had more than 500 colleagues joining in first iteration from 138 countries, and some of the topics that they would like to cover are really very much, like aligning with each other. So we really also think that you will find like-minded people in the organization as well. And I already mentioned to you about the post-academic acceleration that you're aware of, and you will have access to the community of practice where you will have more access to more learning materials. So what is the eligibility criteria? You should be currently a personnel. It doesn't matter if you are a staff member or you are IPSA and FCA IC, as long as you are a personnel from UNDP, UNCDF, and UNV within UNDP. So this was one of the topics that we should cover, is that if you are UNV, that is part of World Food Program, unfortunately you cannot join to the academy. It should be that you are a UNV within UNDP. And the reason is because we are going to host our academy on Quantum Learning platform, and that platform is only available for the colleagues that were mentioned. So for some reason, if you have any questions, you can, of course, like always write and learn more about it. And we would like you to have a passion about learning new technologies and also using them to create social impact. It is important to note here that you don't have to have any knowledge of blockchain when you are joining the academy. Even if you have zero knowledge of blockchain, you can still join the academy and learn about blockchain. That is why we built the academy. If you have some kind of a knowledge, this academy is also going to be helpful for you, because we are going to also provide you with the use case based knowledge. Maybe then that will expand your knowledge on the blockchain. So please do not hesitate to apply, even if you are new and you don't know anything about technology. That is totally fine for us. And you are willing to dedicate at least 3 hours per week to learning and participation for 12 to 16 weeks, depending on what is the pace and how is the structure going to look like. That is what we expect from your side. Mostly we expect you to watch the recorded lectures and join the live sessions. Live sessions, if you cannot join, that is sometimes no problem. We will send you the recordings anyway. So if it doesn't match with your time zones, that's no problem. We will share with you all the recordings. And we kindly ask you to have the support and approval from your supervisor, because in some cases, maybe you want to join, but then there is not enough time. So that is what we just ask you. And it is also part of the application form. So, sorry. Like also my colleague Asem is has already put on the chat how to apply for the academy, as well as the application form, colleagues. So please apply whenever you have time. So for the timeline is that we started the open call on 2nd December. The call is going to be closed on 18th December, so next week. Please make sure to apply via the application form. It is very, very basic application form. So, as long as you fill all the aspects, it will be fine. We will let you know about the selected participants by 13th January. I will send you an email to let you know that you're selected, and then what are the next steps. So, how to onboard to the quantum learning and what are going to be the sessions that are coming up. All the detailed information is going to be shared with you on 13th January. Then we are going to have our Blockchain Academy launch and onboarding workshop on 20th January, where we will onboard you to the academy, what are the deliverables, and also to have a workshop in which you can already think of the modules that we are going to have part of the academy. And the graduation is going to take place April and May. And upon the graduation, you're going to get a certification that is issued from our side as well as Algorand Foundation side, that you can, showcase the learning that you took through. And then following all this, the academy, then you will have access to our community of practice too. So these are, in a nutshell, what we wanted to provide with this academy. As mentioned, please apply by December 18. If you have any questions about the application form or, the open call or anything that's pressing, please write on the chat so that we can answer it. But again, to mention the learning is quite, I know that blockchain might be a little bit, in the beginning, a little bit different topic than maybe what we are used to, but we did our best to make sure that the content that's provided to you is very easy to understand. It is very much on use case based education. So you will be able to kind of a picture what would be the steps to take when you want to implement a project. And also, as Matt mentioned, like everyone that is part of the lectures are people that are already building or having companies that are already working on the ground. So it is not a kind of education person that didn't do anything with the technology. It is people on the ground. So the content is quite easy to understand. Luckily, we didn't get any negative feedback about that it was heavy or anything. It was quite easy. So we really encourage like all of you to apply. And maybe now we can hear your questions. So I will also check, and maybe Asem, if you checked any questions and that was pressing, please also let me know. Yes,
Yeah.
so
For
yeah.
now, we have a question about NFTs. What are NFTs?
Yes, so Matt, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have a topic on that, so we'll go much more in depth. But just very quickly, it's NFT stands for non-fungible token. And so what it basically is a unique digital certificate or deed for a specific item which proves that you own the original, even if copies exist. So because the data is immutable and it's unique, when you present that NFT, like the Go Plausible certificate, Virtue, that folks got as a result of graduating from the academy, that is unquestionably the document that is the original that you own that's been proven and timestamped. So that's, I think, for the purposes here, that's as deep as I'll get now, but we'll go much deeper when we get to that module.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matt. And there is a question if the program is open to externals. Unfortunately, the program is not open to externals. It is only open to UNDP, UNCDF, and then UNV within UNDP. This is what is open to. And I'm also happy to hear that some of you mentioned that, like, even though you have zero knowledge, you can really more than welcome to join Academy. It will be quite, easy for you to go through the Academy. An intern that is part of UNDP, UNCDF, and UNV can join the Academy, yes. So it is not limited to like only personnel, like interns can also join. And Ian King asked about the question that we have on the application form to describe a project. So if you don't have a project in mind now, that is no problem. Just write there that you don't have a project currently. This is not one of the selection criteria. We just wanted to map out what are the challenges you would like to address for us to see how we can tailor maybe some of the sessions. That is why we ask you the questions. If you don't have any pilot on mind, it is not a problem. We do not ask you to have any pilots during the academy or after the academy. As long as you want to learn more about technology, you can apply. So please write to that question. You don't have any project on mind currently. And so Yevon Kim asked, will there be official certificate after completion? Can participants take more than one optional module? So there will be official certification, yes. Upon the completion, it is going to be issued by our team, UNDP Alternative Finance Lab team, as well as Matt's team. And maybe we can again look into option to see if we can have like NFTs again issued. That is something that we will let you know later. For the optional modules, of course. So whatever modules you are seeing here, colleagues, you will have access to all these modules, no matter, like how many modules you go through. The mandatory is that you go through all four, because if you go through all four, you will have a fundamental knowledge. And after you are done with all mandatory modules, you are unlocking the learning materials for the remaining modules. So if you would like to complete all these 12, you are more than welcome to complete, and you can go through them whenever you would like to. So Shayla Khan is asking, what level of intensity should I expect from the course? So as mentioned, we expect you to dedicate 3 hours per week for 12 to 16 weeks. But we could also see that some colleagues, they went through the mandatory modules within 2 weeks because, they were very enthusiastic and they went through the program. So it is really so much up to you. We hope to finalize all the learning materials, everything to completed by April, May. Let's say May. I think it will be more. I think it's more realistic. It will be May. So then during this process, you should be able to complete all the modules. Of course, we are going to have a kind of a timeline, which live sessions are going to be supporting the recorded lectures. So we have recommended kind of approach for you to take when you're going through the training program, but still it is really up to you to decide like how much you would like to take time to complete the academy by May. So is there any financial commitment from staff members or the country office? Asked Shatha. No, we don't ask any financial commitment from your side or the country office side. Anyone that can that are selected for the academy can join the academy free of charge. And how are the participants selected? Participants are selected on the, you completing the application form and making sure that you answered all your questions. As mentioned, if you don't have any pilot project, that's no problem. It will not exclude you to apply to the program. And then, if you tick all the boxes and you provided all the relevant information, you will be selected to the academy. It is not like we are going to shortlist from those and select only those with projects or something. It is not like this. As long as you fill in the application form correctly, you got approval from your senior management. For us, this is more than enough. So we will then you will be selected to join the academy. Yeah, so the requirements for the application is just eligibility criteria is very important. You should be a personnel or intern from UNDP, UNCDF, and UNV within UNDP. And then you should be able to fill in the application form. As mentioned, that we don't have a very big selection criteria. It is more like for you to showcase all the answers to the application form. As long as you do that, you will be able to be onboarded to the academy. So Amar is asking, if I'm a UNV at another UN agency, am I eligible to apply? Unfortunately not. We only accept UNVs within UNDP. Of course, we wish that we could have opened to all our UN agencies, but currently we don't have a platform that can host it. Hopefully in the future, that is something that we are looking into, but you are not able to join. But maybe Asem, you can put on the chat our UN Community of Practice, blockchain Community of Practice, where we are going to have sessions that will teach you about, like overall blockchain and for you to learn. You can join that, but unfortunately you cannot join our blockchain academy currently. Okay. So someone is asking, Yunus is asking about he works for an NGO and what kind of opportunities we can have. Yunus, please write me an email on the application, on the open call text. You can write me with your project idea, and then we can see, and I can also share it with Matt's team to see how we can support different NGOs for a specific project you have in mind. Please just, write us an email and then we will follow up on this. So someone asked, Jagdish asked that he has submitted the application, but how to approve from supervisor. Like as long as you inform your supervisor and then he says yes or she says yes, you can just click the box. If you didn't get the approval yet, but you will get it, you can still click it as yes. It is just, informally for you to let your manager know. It doesn't mean that you have to get a written confirmation. We don't ask for anything. Your learning journey to, strengthen your skills and knowledge is something that is up to you anyway. So I'm sure your supervisor will be fine with it. Also, some of the learning materials, maybe you would like to cover them, except, like outside of your working hours, this is something also fine. So if you didn't get an approval yet, and it is also fine. You just maybe click yes, and then, later on it will be fine. So the selection criteria is mentioned. We don't have a strict selection criteria. As long as you fill in the application form, you are part of UNDP, UNCDF, and UNV within UNDP, it will be fine that you will be selected for the academy. This is just for us to get your interest and kind of map out the challenges you are facing to see how we can tailor-base the approach of the academy. That is why we have this application form. It is quite simple. Asem can put one more time to the chat the application form as well as the open call text for you to see. And it is quite easy application form. So if you don't have a specific project, don't worry, it will be still fine. So if the car had asked, after completing the training, will we receive support from you in designing a blockchain solution for any project? Following the academy, we have our accelerator program where we will kindly ask you to submit your challenges that could be addressed. Plus, Matt's team, they can also support you. So as long as you let us know during the academy what kind of project you would like to have and what is the challenge that you are addressing, we can make sure to connect you to Algorand's ecosystem for the specific challenge you want to address, as well as our other partners. So following the training program, we are going to have our accelerator program that is kind of follow up to make sure that you are also testing the pilots. I think I answered all the questions on the chat. I'm not sure if I missed any. I'm also checking Q&A. Okay, I cannot see any there as well. Asem, do you have any that maybe I missed?
No, actually, you answered all of them.
Perfect. Colleagues, do you have any other questions? While you are writing your questions, just very, very quickly, if you have zero knowledge of blockchain, don't worry, just apply to the academy. If you have zero knowledge, our aim is to make sure that by the end of the academy, you have the enough knowledge to see how you can utilize blockchain. Let's say that you have a project, you are working on plastic waste, or you are working on agriculture, supply chain, different aspects. As part of the academy, you will have access to the training materials that is going to showcase you how you can utilize this technology. So if you have a project working with digital identity, or you are working with digital payments and you want to explore how blockchain can be utilized, you will have then learn about this and see how you can utilize it as part of the implementation. So this is, a very fundamental knowledge of blockchain, and it is tailored for UN ecosystem. So all of the content you're going to see is really very relevant. It is not like, of course, as I mentioned, you can Google on the academies and you can find many academies, but this is very different because this is specifically tailored for UN. So all use cases are very much relevant to you.
Yeah, Burcu, I'll just chime in too. All you need to, I think, if you could take away from this course enough knowledge for you to say, oh, here's a challenge that I'm facing on the ground in Sudan or in Somalia or in Afghanistan, and you know enough about how blockchain can help solve that problem, that's all you need to know. Oh, I think there actually might be a blockchain-based solution to this. Let me look into it further. And that's when you reach out to me or Burcu, whoever, or our ecosystem partners. So I think it's just enough to give you the knowledge where you see an alternative technology that could actually help you solve the challenges that you faced. That's the way I look at it.
Yes, thank you so much, Matt. And yes, you can use your UNDP account email. That is what we need. So when you apply, please apply with your UNDP emails. If you don't have UNDP email registered as part of the application form, unfortunately, we cannot identify that you work for UNDP or UNCDF or UNV. Please make sure that your emails that are part of the application form is your official work emails. If you have any question, please go to the open call link that was shared by Asem, and you have my email there. You can just write me your questions. Also, you can, always write me on Teams, colleagues. If it is easier and faster, just, you know my name and surname. You can just type me on Teams. I will make sure to answer you as soon as I can. Can you review your application form? Write me an email. I can, if you didn't get it to your email, I will share it with you. But if for some reason you don't think that you applied good and you want to apply again, just submit one more time. That is not a problem. If you're not sure, you can apply one more time. But as mentioned, selection criteria is really very simple. We just wanted to have the application form so that we can gather your contact details. What are the challenges you want to address with blockchain to make sure that we have everything in one place? As long as you fill in the form on time, you will be selected to the academy. So we will not have a selection process where we will not accept any colleagues that applied and answered all the questions. the question about pilots, if you don't have anything on mind, just write that I don't have a project. It will not exclude you from being part of the academy at all. We just wanted to map out what are the different like initiatives maybe you would like to have as part of the academy. Do we have any other questions? And I will make sure to share with you the recording of the session as well, so you can also share it with your colleagues. And you will also see on our open call text that colleagues that join Academy, they were quite happy with the content. It is really not heavy. It is very easy to understand. All our lecturers as part of the Academy, they were informed that they should speak a very simple language, which they really do. So do not really be intimidated about the Academy at all. It is quite easy to comprehend. Okay, so if we don't have any other questions, then we can end the session. Asem, thank you so much. Like Asem already put the details of the academy as a link as well as the application form. Make sure to apply before 18th December, colleagues. I will share one more time reminder to all of you. And for some reason, if you have any problems, application form, anything, write me email. Whenever you have questions, just, connect me on Teams as well as email. I will be more than happy to answer you as soon as possible. I think that it takes you to your Gmail account. Sure, it can take you to your Gmail account, but on the application form, we are asking, please write your email. Then when you write your email, write there your UNDP email. Even though it directs you to your Gmail account, that is okay. On the question where it asks email, just write your work email, please. And we really hope that you will join us with the Academy. I think I can speak on behalf of our team as well as Algorand that we really had very, very good first iteration and we got very good feedback. So I really think that you will learn a lot as part of the Academy, and hopefully following, you will also have pilots coming out by the end of this year. We are going to have more than 40 pilots that are coming out as part of our SDG Blockchain Accelerator. So we are, very much, happy about the results. Also to let you know, we are going to have blockchain advisory group that is on a senior management level approved, where we gather all our blockchain partners to see how we can utilize blockchain for development challenges we are addressing across UNDP. So we also got the management support. So I think that now it is kind of our responsibility as UN colleagues to make sure that we are also keeping up with new technologies and to make sure that we stay relevant to all the stakeholders that we are engaging with. So I think that this program is going to provide you that. And yes, we will send you the recording of the session. And Matt, is there anything you would like to say from your side as the last words?
No, thanks everybody for coming. I think it's a good journey that you'll embark on, and hopefully you'll take away exactly what I said, just enough knowledge to see that, hey, there's a technology out there that we can utilize in the field that solves some of these problems. So looking forward to getting to know you and introducing you to this tech, which I think is pretty cool, and we'll see you soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matt. And thank you so much also, Asem, for all the support. So thank you so much, colleagues. We are going to send you all the details. Apply as soon as you can. And then we are looking forward to see you in January with our first workshop that we are going to have. And then, hopefully we will have you as part of the Academy. Thank you so much again for your time. And we wish you a good time of the end of the year. We know that you're very busy, but I'm sure that you will manage all the work. And we wish you already Happy New Year. Also, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas already. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see each other again. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.